Go. Hey, everybody. Show me your love. Bring it on. Bring it on. That's like boom. Boom. Check in. I can't cut Nicole's guitar solo. All right. Legumes. Your surf, poppy, rocky, dysfunctional, modern, emo-y rock and roll, I guess. Nicole Rosenbach and her pals and Legumes. Nicole's dad, Alan, Dr. Alan Rosenbach, one of the finest dermatologists in town. He's the one that takes care of this beautiful skin here. But just on my cell phone, I'll just be like, Alan, I got a problem. Look at this. He's like, yeah, you're losing your hair. So check out Legumes. They're a great band and part of my family. And they said when we finally do the show live with the studio audience, they're going to be my house band. So I already have it lined up. So we're very excited. It's Sunday. I'm Jeff Kravitz. It is this, I'm going to say it's the first day. Is it the first day or the seventh day? So let's say it's the day of rest, the holy day, the Lord's Day. Hopefully everybody did not go to church today. If you did, I hope you're prayed for yourself and that the person sitting within 3 feet of you wasn't going to infect you. But it's kind of crazy that everybody's out there still trying to do their thing in this environment. I get it that people don't want to believe science. I'm a science denier myself. I'd much rather lock into a good conspiracy alien invasion theory than, the truth. But, I'm also a pragmatist. My mom raised me as a realist. So I have to really kind of cut it down to what the essence of it is. So as you all know, and the repeating theme every day is that you're being played and we're all being played. So try not to watch the news. I watched it yesterday. I think I cried. I think it was Friday night I watched it. I cried 4 times in one newscast. That's kind of crazy, that you're just sitting there and you're getting all this emotion in you and depressed. And it's just like really not good for your psyche, especially now when we're, isolated from people and not being able to share moments and, special occasions, good or bad, It's really sad what's happening. I mean, so we're not here for the fear. We're not here for the sadness. We're here for the gladness. So we are all about trying to make the world a better place. How's that? How's that for an intro? Today is Sunday, as I said, and we are in the house, at my house, in the garage, where I don't like to leave the house on the weekends because there's nowhere really to go. We're trying to stay out of the supermarkets and everything, so I'm obeying the orders. But through the past 3 weeks now, we're about to start our 4th week of broadcast this week, and I'm going to save till the end on who I'm having coming up. But it is really, things are going well when people are returning your calls and saying, yes, I want to do your show. I want to come on. I want to talk. I want people to understand what's going on and where I'm coming from. So it's very, it makes me feel good that it's working and I can talk to you all and use this format for a little bit longer. Today's guest is someone near and dear to my heart. She's an old friend. I've known her since I was 16 years old, 15 years old. My friend Vince Andaloro and I grew up in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Some of you might know this. And we would go hang out on Rose Ordile. She had a houseboat. But even before Rose, her mom was Millie Ordile, and she ran the principal's office at my school, which all through my life, pretty much, she was the lady that you had to go. If you had to go in to see Millie, you were hoping that it was a good day and that you weren't you're in trouble. Because if you had to go talk to Dennis E. Kelly, who was our principal in the middle school, you knew you were in for a treat, because he did not pull any punches. He was a great guy, a very special man to me growing up. And you have these influences and these people in your life. And when I grew up, knowing Millie, I didn't know about Rose or no Rose. And then as I became a teenager and started going down to Atlantic City to high school and started hanging with Vince, I met his family, and Rose was his cousin. So I met Rose. And when I moved to Los Angeles in the 80s, I moved in with Vince, and Rose was shortly behind me, maybe by a month or 2, 3, 4 months. And then she moved in with us. And then Vince went his way and to Malibu and moved into a really cool place, or actually Woodland Hills maybe first, and then Malibu. And Rose and I moved in with our friend Dana, her friend Dana, and both of them were aerobic instructors down in the day. You've probably seen me share this picture here today, talking about my roommates, or talking about Rose. And Rose is the one in the tiger print. She was the Carol Baskin of the household, and Dana's on the other side there. And we were going to a party that day, and we shot that in the that was our living room with some, you can see there's those things on the bottom there, you guys might know, between my legs. They're called records. That's how we used to listen to music back at the turn of the century. So I'm going to bring Rose in. Say hi, Rose Ordile. Hello, Rose.
Hi, Jeff.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? It's been years.
Yeah, it has been. It's really good to see you.
Too long.
So how's your life?
Life is good. Busy here with the animals. Still working with the animals, and it's still part of my life and my heart. And I've been in the business now got in the business in 87, 88, soon after I moved out to California.
Well, I remember it had to be 1978 or 79, and we would be walking home from high school, and we would stop by your pet store where you were doing grooming. So that,
that was the start. I mean, I started working with animals probably when I was like 16 years old. I took my first dog to like a dog obedience class, and then from there on, I was just hooked. And then, back in the day, then when you went to your high school counselor, the only options you had were to either be a vet tech or a veterinarian assistant. And I had gone to school for vet tech and finished it, but didn't quite like that. And that's where I met Joanne McGinty, and she's from Atlantic City, and the McGinty's are out here too. Yeah. And we opened up a grooming salon. It was called the Pet Boutique. And it was in Atlantic City, but right before the monument.
The monument, Albany Avenue, for you guys out there. It's so many memories. It's going back so far. I remember the houseboat really well. I remember hanging out. And then when we moved in together, it was definitely Three's Company. Because it was definitely Three's Company. Here's another picture I found. That could have been that same day later that day.
That's the same day. Our second favorite picture. That was a great day.
Yeah, that was pretty classic. I definitely like my Don. I don't even know what the look is there, and the growth. It's definitely taking me back to a time from long before. It definitely was. It's just so many memories, so many great times. And what do you think that is, Keeks? And it is. All right. So was I here when I talk? Anyway, when you moved out here, then you started training, and then you got into you were doing dogs for a little bit, right?
Right. When I moved out to California and moved in with you and Vince, the three things that I knew how to do was to instruct aerobics, I knew how to groom dogs and cats and do behavioral problem solving and train dogs. And I came out here because I wanted to be an animal trainer in the film industry. That was my purpose for coming out. But in the first 10 days out here, it was a gift from God, because I just thought I had originally made a little bit of a mistake. But I had landed a job in those 3 things that I knew how to do in the first 10 days. And then that just led on to an incredible path. And then when you and I moved in with Dana, we had a party, and it was one of your friends that I was a girl, and she had asked me why I was out here, and she said she had friends that did that. And then about 3 months later, after that party, she placed a call in the voicemail, and she was like, I don't know which one of you wanted to work with animals, but there's a job and they're looking for people, and here's the number to call. And then that's how it all got started. I called that number, and I auditioned for riding ostriches for a commercial. And then I went to the compound up there, and that's how I got started. I volunteered to get in. They weren't looking to hire anyone. And when I wanted to get in there, I was like, I'll be willing to volunteer my time in return for knowledge with exotic animals, because I didn't have any knowledge with the exotics. And so they gave me every dirt job I could possibly do. And I whistled my way through it and loved it. And then finally just got into it. And now I do mostly domestics, but it's still animals, whether it's dogs, cats, rabbits, horses.
Well, now your thing's colorization. Let's put some of the colorization.
Exactly. Yeah. So colorization, what that is whenever we're reading a script and we're breaking it down, you're thinking, oh, I need 1 animal or 2 animals or 3 animals, sometimes even 5 animals to play the part of one. And because 1 animal can't possibly do all those behaviors. So because of my past experience with grooming and training and knowing animal behavior, I said, why don't we just get something close to what they like, and I'll create the rest. And sometimes it doesn't even exist. If it doesn't exist, we can possibly create it to exist. So that opened up a whole nother new avenue of working with animals. So I was still doing the training, but then the coloring business got so busy because it was just something that's a niche and it's not heard of. And it was a perfect little spot for me to be.
So like here we're looking at a couple of dogs.
Right. So those dogs just, it's white. And then I created them to look, that was for the movie, The Beginners. Now I didn't train those animals, a wonderful animal trainer. They were her dogs. And the director of that was his childhood look of the dog. When he did that film, he wanted it to look like his childhood dog. And that was how we got that look.
It's a horsey.
So that was, yeah.
So I saw and you did the Smurfs too, the little Smurf dogs.
We did the cats for the Smurfs.
Oh, the cats.
The cat, yeah, the cat for the Smurf. Colored the cats for the Smurfs, and so many. That's just a white horse, but they needed a zebra, and zebras are sometimes temperamental, and it had to work with children.
Wow.
So we changed can change the whole look. A little color changes everything.
Wow.
It's just, it's pretty amazing. Like, that's probably one of my favorites too. The only thing that they wouldn't let me do on that was cut the mane of the horse to spike it up like a zebra, only because the mane takes such a long time to grow. And sometimes these animals have to go back to who they are right away.
Right.
So if it's a commercial, sometimes then I'll use a temporary color. And all my colors, I create my own colors. They're all non-toxic. Sometimes they last longer than others. Like I said, if it's a commercial, then it's just a temporary color that goes in and then comes right out.
Right. And
if we're doing like a long-term feature film, and if the animal has to be in water, then you use more of a permanent color.
So your main guy around the house these days is the finicky cat.
Oh yeah, Morris, the 9 Lives cat. You know, he that's very interesting because he's not a purebred. And probably what you don't know is Morris has been representing the Nine Lives brand for over 50 years. So all the Morrises from past to present were rescued by the shelter and then saved by Nine Lives. So he's always giving back to the shelters and always trying to help his furry feline friends find a good forever home too. And that's a good thing too. Now, a lot of the shelters are closed, but those animals in the shelter still need caring for and feeding. And you can still do adoption, but what we have to do is just go online. And if you see an animal that you like, you just call them and set up an appointment for adoption. And if you're a person who's out walking, like going for your walks, you might want to call the shelter and see if you can volunteer and get some of those dogs out and help them walk. They're also doing foster programs too. So if you're even like stuck in the house and you're thinking, well, I was thinking about maybe adopting a dog or a cat, you might want to sign up for a foster program and foster an animal during this time. I mean, it helps them out, and you might end up keeping it. You never know.
What's your critter count right now?
My critter count, I'm mostly just dogs and cats.
How many you got?
And I do have, I had my geriatric year. So, and the geriatrics, because they're here for life. And sometimes I don't bring in new ones until the other ones, you know, it's time for them to go. So within the past year, I did end up losing a couple of my geriatrics. So it's time now. Then I'm even visiting the shelters and seeing what's out there. Yeah. There's a lot of great animals out there.
How are you staying busy right now?
Staying busy is I'm helping out the shelters. Animals, it's all day. They always need feeding, cleaning, who needs medicating.
Right.
I have been going out.
I need medicating.
Yeah, I think we all could use a little during this time. I've been going out on walks, so I've been doing a lot of walking. I try not to turn on the news, but I have been watching the news too, because it does get a little depressing.
We just had a shout out from Dave and Dana saying hi. Dana was our other roommate. Dave came and took her away, took her to Sacramento. That broke up the band right there. I think Dave was the Yoko Ono of the band.
Yeah.
So what do you make? Like, you took care of big cats for a while. You were working up there at the ranch. What do you make of all the hype with the Tiger King and stuff like that? And what's your feeling on that there's more tigers in captivity than there are in the wild and stuff like that? You think that's a good thing? We're preserving
I haven't watched all episodes. So, and some of the ones that I did watch, I did find a little disturbing. And of course, there are good people out there and there are bad people out there. Out here, the companies that I work with are wonderful with their animals. I can't say a bad word about them with their animals. They're just wonderful. And I do think, like, with the animals somewhat in captivity, I mean, there is education where when people go to the zoo, they can see that animal and learn about that animal. And where if they go into distinction and they close everything down, then it's almost going to be like how dinosaurs are now, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Let's get a bear.
What was that?
No, I just told Kiki I have Kiki here pulling up the pictures. Oh, the other cat. Oh.
Yeah.
Look at young Rose.
Did some baby raising. Yeah, that's quite a long time ago. Look at the hair.
and the bear. What's the name of the bear?
Coda.
Coda.
He was living up in Canada. There's a company up in Canada. They are the only company that have a polar bear.
My friend was asking about Bart the bear. Oh, is that
Bart
the polar bear?
I was a trainer named Doug Seuss. He's out of Utah. Wonderful bear trainers. The one that the bear trainer for that bear, Coda, his name is Mark Weiner, and he's up in Canada. And then there's another bear lady. She's just absolutely beautiful with her bears and have been with bears for years. Her name is Ruth LaBarge.
Wow. That's crazy. But these people only have one or two animals like that, right?
Yes.
It's not like they're trying.
They don't breed. None of these where all those pictures are from. Not one of those companies breed animals. They take care of them. They take care of them for life. They raise them from babies. They're like their children. The polar bear had her own huge swimming pool. They raised her with a dog. I mean, it's just one. Yeah.
They're part of their family. It's not like they're trying to farm them and make a living.
No, and they don't do anything like on the Tiger King. They don't open up their facilities to have people take pictures with their animals and make money that way. These are studio trained animals, and these are professional animal trainers.
Yeah, well, it's amazing to see the work you've done. I'm so proud. When I was Googling you, I was like, well, I've never Googled Rose, and I started Googling you and reading some of the articles. And just it's amazing to watch people come to this town and how well, especially the Jersey crew, how well we all adapt.
Everybody did well.
Yeah, it's been really, really good. Well, thanks, Rose. I appreciate you tuning in today, and I love you very much.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
it's my pleasure. It's good to see you. Take care of all your little critters.
Come on out to the ranch sometime.
Yeah, soon as I'm allowed out of the house.
Out of the house. We'll have a big barbecue.
Sounds great. Thanks, Rose.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, wait, hold on. There's a quick question. Isn't that a bird or other critter in the back of Rose? You got a bird back there?
No, it might have been one of the cats.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I think they see that cage back there behind your head there.
Oh, it's empty. It's empty.
Oh, there you go. All right. Thanks, Rose.
All righty.
See you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Rose Ordile, ladies and gentlemen, check her out on she's on the Insta and on the Facebook. A lot of people chirped in today from that I went to college with, and or high school. Went to high school with Rose, my old friend. Hold on, let me see if I could find. There he goes. Bo Zenga, movie producer, another Atlantic City negative. The jokes write themselves, folks. Another native from Atlantic City, Bo Zenga, produced Batman back in the day. He's worked on, was it Scary Movie? It was one of those crazy. I'm sure he'll chime in. Yes, the picture of us is the best of all time. What was that last one, Keith? Can you pop it back up? No, what you drinking, Jeff? So this is water. I'm not much of a drinker, so I'm staying hydrated. Everybody else is cocktail hour. I'm like bong hit hour. So that's more my speed. And Linda LaJoca, she remembers that Vince would have pizza parties. This is old school family stuff. Vince was not in that picture. He was holding us up in the back. Brad Rose reminiscing a little bit about Rose. Brad saying hi. Hi, Rose. Hanging out with the two of you on my trip to LA many moons ago. And I'm glad Dr. Kravitz has that picture of me and Rose and Dana as a screensaver. So, and it is probably the greatest photo of all time. It captures the essence of where I was. Yes, eat your heart out, David Coverdale, whatever his name was. And yes, Carrie, it was very, very 80s. Greg Johnson, great job DJing. He's got vinyl. His vinyl collection is unbelievable. He's not afraid to share it. So we got a little bit about Rose feels about the Tiger King and Joe Exotic today. And Thursday of this week, we're going to have Dan Matthews on from PETA. And if you don't know who Dan Matthews is, you owe it to yourself to go on and check him out. He is right there. We're going to have, and Thursday, Dan Matthews from People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. And you should Google him because his story, the guy's been arrested more times than you've been to church. The Mikes, Michael Lute and Michael Grossman saying hi to Rose. So and there's Sue checking in. Sue's been checking in on us. David Wolf, everything's well. Thank you. Thanks for the heart. Some love back to you. Marty, we are good. Zoran at Abbey Road. We're crushing it. Zoran's taking pictures of the show every day. Yes, Keeks. Theo, all my friends, all my family. Eric Kabik, another Theo and Eric, both great photographers. Kiki loves the Gooms. Kiki and Nicole grew up together. So it's all full circle here. You know, with the youth are entertaining us and we're feeding them. And they all been, you know, these kids grew up in my house. You're here for the lemons. We're bringing it up. Lemon, is that lemon 714s? Thank you, Saul. Larry Solitrin, another person I've known since I was 16 years old. Old friend Holly, good to hear from you. I hope everything's well. Thank you. The t-shirt and yeah, the hair. You like it? I've been cutting my own hair. The girls want to show you where I butchered the back, but Kiki snickering. But Lulu has to come and do little touch-ups. So she looked at the back of my head. She goes, "What the hell did you do?" I was like, "Well, no one really has to see the back of my head." Hogan saying hi to Rose. Thanks, Val. Thanks for tuning in. Brad, thank you very much. Rose saw your little greeting. Hello, Missy. Hello, my old friend Rob Tonkin. I'm going to need a marketing man. Well, there's definitely going to be a need for me. As soon as I can figure, as soon as there's a market. Deshaldon, calling out the future of entertainment once again. You know it. Hello, Amy. My cousin Amy out there in Northfield, New Jersey. Rose, getting a big thank you from Marijane for coming on. Yes, we love the Joe Exotic because you know why? Because we love train wrecks. That's why you watch the news and you're watching Trump every day on TV because you love watching the train wreck. Yes, it is. Actually, every hour. It's the only way I'm getting through the day. Hello, Mitchell. Good to see you. Yes, Nina, at least me. Somebody asked me today, because I posted on my Facebook as kind of a joke that I went to the church today and I without a mask. It's kind of like raw dogging, right? I went to church today without a mask. And first of all, the only time I go to church is when I'm in Europe and I walk by some amazing church and I'm like, I got to go in there and see how much money they spend. But no. And second of all, I was raised a Jew, so it doesn't really make sense. My last name's Kravitz. It's not exactly, you know. House Stark. You can tell what side I'm on. I've always been the John Scrab. Yes, Zoran is doing screen grabbing, and Zoran has been doing all my screen grabbing for my show. If you see me be sharing screen grabs after the show, I get a set of images from Zoran. You know, he's usually there running Abbey Road, making sure everything's running great. And now he's at home like us because Abbey Road is shut up. Nobody in there. So he's hanging out. And he's actually shooting a couple other things online too. So how high are you? I'm 6'4", Marina. And Rose is a doll. She was unbelievable, old friend. And, you know, it's interesting as I'm going through my mental book because I want to share the people that are part of my family as well as the guys that everybody knows. But Rose is definitely plugged in and she's been at this for a long time and knows all about working with animals. So, oh, I like that. I saw Michael's DJ show the other day, Val, and that was very, very interesting. Lori, my old science biology partner there in high school. Hello, Drew Katz, another down there in Longport, keeping Longport safe. Got the whole beach to yourself, and they still closed it. Oh, your Netflix crashed? I finally finished Brent Caviar. I finally finished Narcos. Here's one of the stars of Narcos, DJ Irwin. Hello. Chris Myers, happy birthday, my friend. It's so hard to be far away. Chris Myers is a drummer for a phenomenal band called Humphreys McGee, one of my favorites in my top echelon. Not your 5th, 6th tier jam band there. They're right up there. They're first tier. Humphreys McGee. Love those guys. They know what they're doing. They play so many shows. And I was about to go see Chris bang the hell out of the drums, literally 2 days away, and they yanked the shows because they were scheduled for like the 13th of March. Friday the 13th, we should have known. Was that Friday the 13th? Whatever it was, 12th, 13th. I was going to go down to San Diego. I have not seen the new Miles Davis documentary, but I will put it on my list, Chris, because I love me some Miles. I love jazz. We listen to a lot of music around the house. We go through everything. I like that. Like War of the Future Entertainment. Which one's that? Which hashtag? I forget because they just go flying out of my brain like in one way, out the other. So we're going to keep it short. It's Sunday. Oh, on Netflix, Miles Davis. Okay. I'm going to check it out. I got Narcos Mexico lined up. Oh, yeah, great. Thanks. I'm sure it was. I'll probably see Humphreys like in a year. Crazy. Hello, Justin. How are you? So I want to talk a little bit about my guest for next week because I am just blown away by the reaction and going through the book. And I guess everybody's bored and silly. I'm going into week 4. Tomorrow we have the Pauly Shore on the show. Pauly and I started working together back in the 80s during the old MTV days when he was the Weasel. So we are going to bring out Pauly. Tuesday, we have musical genius Dan Cantar from Canada, from Toronto, former musical director for Justin Bieber, touring with everybody in the world. The guy, we've been friends now for almost 10 years, and he changed my life. This guy is he's something else. So I'm looking forward to talking to Dan. After Dan on Wednesday, I got the call today just before we went on the air from Chris Carota. And Chris Carota, is going to come on the show, CK5, with a special guest, the captain of the hot tuna boat from Wicked Tuna, TJ Ott, famous tuna fisherman. This is like catching the big one here. This show is going to be all about fish and the light you need to catch your fish. Chris is like, I don't want to talk about lighting. I'm like, nobody wants to hear about lighting. Everybody wants to hear Brad Sands stories. So get them loaded up. That's Wednesday. I'm excited for every day. This is kind of crazy because everybody's like, life, it's so crazy. I don't know what to do. And meanwhile, I've locked onto this with you guys, and it's really starting to vibe and buzz. And I'm looking forward to every day, and puts a pep in my step. And I guess it's kind of what I needed, and I hope I'm giving you guys what you need. Thursday, like I said before, Dan Matthews, head of PETA, PETA, not PITA. You're not going to put a falafel in this. You're not going to cut up some shawarma and put it in Dan's PETA. This is a different PETA. No shawarmas. There'll be no shawarmas eaten by the PETA crew. The jokes write themselves, folks. Friday, I think I'm saving it Friday for the guest that I know is going to call me this week that I've been tagging. Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I'm open. So of next week, which is good because I want to have a little area to play with. So I'm going to keep a little bit of mystery in it. But the next 4 days, here we go. You're here for the gyros. Join it like a gyro. Don't be no gyros. You can have a falafel. No Pepsi Coke. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Name the show. Pandemic Entertainment. That's what it is there. I like that tagline. I like it. Thanks, Michael McHugh. We love the McHugh family. You, your brother, all that, your nieces and nephews. Part of my family here. That's the other side. The Rosenbach, McHughes, Kravitzes, the who else? Katrina had a 9-pack of friends growing up, and they're all part of our family. Mary Bog, we love you too, Mary Bog. And you know what? You weren't going to Bonnaroo this year. You told me that. Remember? And now nobody's really. I don't think anybody's going anywhere, to be totally honest. Cheap buggy. Yeah, Belushi. That's the people who tell me that I look like a Belushi, And I became friendly with his brother when we were doing the House of Blues stuff. When they opened up the House of Blues in Chicago, and I was working with House of Blues when they opened here in LA. I guess that's a whole nother story. No Coke Pepsi. I'm not a music critic, Jeremy Joel. I'm going to save my opinions on people's art. I think it's very well produced. I'm really proud of Jared and Jared Slomoff, and I'm really proud of Ben Collette. I think they did an amazing job on, mixing it and getting it down. And the bands, all I got to say is here's a guy who writes a song every week and he's putting 10-year-old songs on the record. I'm sorry. Come on. I want to hear the new. Give me like now. Because I know Trey's going to have at least 100 songs when he's done, right? At least. We're talking about Trey Anastasio from Fish. If anybody doesn't know, it's a major passion of mine. David Pomponio, Getty Images, original Film Magic. Like David started back when Film Magic was just a part of Wire Image and trying to like get in with that whole vibe and get into that company and start working. And he's done a great job. I mean, that was 2000. Jesus, that's almost 20 years, right? That's crazy. So, yes, thank you. I like that. It was for me more than the comments. SNL, the humor, my humor is all built off of Saturday Night Live and David Letterman and Johnny Carson, all the people that we loved growing up that made us laugh. George Carlin is probably one of my favorite comedians ever. Cheech and Chong. You know, these were the albums that my neighbors had across the street that you weren't allowed to listen to. You know, you went up there and snuck them anyway because there were the 7 words you can't say on television. Do you know what they are? I do, but I'm not going to say them because Kiki, you want to run them? Josh Beloff, old childhood chum, another great local. We were talking Rickles. The other day, Mark, with Jeffrey Ross, the modern day Don Rickles. You know, it's kind of crazy. Animal House, that's the humor right there. National Lampoon, Monty Python, Three Stooges, now I'm really dating myself, Little Rascals, Abbott and Costello, Who's on First, What's on Second. I got to get Jason Weinstock in here to tell the story about how he named the stages at Bonnaroo after the routine one day vaping bags. He named the stages what, which, this, that, other. And that's why you go to Bonnaroo, everybody's so confused. And the first year, everybody on walkie-talkies would be like, where do we got to send stuff? What stage? Well, I'm at this. Where are you? This stage, that stage. No, which stage? So now all the stages after that, they numbered them. But the first year is crazy. Yes, Sheldon. The Rickles show? The Jeff Ross show. Yes, that was great. No, there you go. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck, shit, piss. Okay, there you go. Like, jeez, C word's awful brutal to see on the screen. You're like, ooh. Like looking at a car wreck. You're like, ow, what did somebody put up there? Anyway, my bong's calling me. So I'm going to go enjoy my day, hang out with my family. They're already like, you got to do this 7 days a week. I'm like, yes, because I'm dedicated, because I know you guys are out there, and at like 4:10 or 7:10 or 6:10 or 5:10 or whenever you tune in, you need a little bit of oomph. So we look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow with Paulie, 4:10 p.m. He's going to make you laugh. He's going to distract you. He's got a great new show about him and his ex-girlfriend spending the quarantine in Maui together. If you haven't seen it, check it out. DJ, your blow-up doll deflated today. I would get out the duct tape. Eva started the West Wing reruns. Oh, great. The smallpox episode. Yeah, I have to watch that show. That's another one I missed. I got shit yesterday for never seeing Breaking Bad. I know. I don't have time for TV. My life used to be like television because I was out all the time, and now I'm watching television and on television. So have a great day, everybody. Enjoy your Sunday. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Here's your hug. Coming in. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. I can't wait for the real hugs. That's really what it's all about. So